ProciseDx is a new in vitro diagnostic company. We make very rapid blood tests that you can run off of a finger stick blood, so you don't have to have an intravenous intervention. We launched our very first product in Europe, the instrument, and a marker called CRP, C-reactive protein. It's a marker for inflammation of the gut. We then received CE mark, which again allows us to sell in Europe for 3 other tests. The 2 of them are for therapeutic drug monitoring. They're used for a variety of inflammatory diseases, and an inflammatory marker in the stool. I think the most important thing that separates us from some of the horror stories is that we developed before we did hype, before we advertised what we were doing, we worked like very busy bees in the laboratory to show that we had technology that works. We were spun off of Prometheus Laboratories, which was owned, interestingly enough, by Nestle, the chocolate company. So we actually started as a skunk works in the R&D department, and we built a small, compact instrument about the same size as a shoebox. We raised some money and brought in some new investors, and we became an independent company. Entrepreneuring is defined as being an entrepreneur within the context of a much larger company. Wow, wouldn't it be cool if every physician around the world, gastroenterologist, could get their results in 5 minutes from a finger prick blood, rather than have to send the patient to a phlebotomist, have their blood drawn, then have that tube sent to a central laboratory, and then the central laboratory has to do the testing. Greg Behar, who is the president of Nestle Health Science, who was my boss's boss, and we showed him how this could work, and we even had rigged it up so that the result from the little instrument could be sent to his cell phone. So the idea of combining rapid testing with an algorithm that gives a clinical management tool that could be a subscription model, for example. The company now has well funded. We've now launched 4 products plus an instrument system in Europe in 15 countries, and we're very proud of that, with 30 employees, by the way. As CEO, I have two major responsibilities. One is to raise money and make sure that the company has money in the bank and that we're solvent. And second, to be a cheerleader for all of the good scientists that are in the lab. The most important thing for me is to just make sure that we've got the right people on the right projects at the right time. And that involves manufacturing, it involves basic research and development, it involves a quality system, clinical trials, and our marketing and sales group. All of those things have to be coordinated. And I have very strong vice presidents that run each of those different groups. And we meet on a weekly basis as an executive team to review the business, review the spending, review the tactics and the strategy for the corporation. I also have the role of not only CEO, but Chief Scientific Officer. You could think of the FDA in the United States as our first customer. We must get by the FDA before we can start selling to physicians. Well, the key milestones now are to complete the U.S. clinical trials for all of the assays and to get FDA approval so that we can begin sales in the U.S. The second thing is, of course, to expand our sales in Europe.